What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games, coming at you with another cool video. Today we're back in Planet Coaster with the one and only Intamin Multi-Launch. Sometimes I forget what it was since it's been so long since I've recorded this series, since it's been forever. That's right, it has been forever, but we're back into it, thankfully, and you're going to see it probably way more often than as of late, because it's been a while since I've been uploading, but now we're gonna get back on track now with the scheduled live streaming and everything like that. We're gonna start live streaming every Monday on YouTube, and we're gonna be live streaming every Tuesday on Twitch. So on YouTube, we're gonna be live streaming different stuff, most likely the Silver City recreation, mostly. It's not going to be that every single time, but that's what it mostly is going to be. On Tuesdays, we're going to be working on JLW entertainment parks, so that's fun. Whether it be like Red River Valley or Time City or something like that, just upgrading general parks and that nature. That will be a lot of fun as well. But for today, we're working on Oberon. That's right, we got ourselves a name for this. If you guys haven't heard it before, we have decided to name this Oberon. Me and Gunnar came up with the name. I think Gunnar actually came up with the name more than I did, but so Oberon is the king of fairies, very like foresty type of theme, which is going to be cool, which you have maybe been seeing that as of late. So I think it's a really cool name for a coaster. I think it works really well overall, and it's got a really nice ring to it. So, and of course the theming is going to be pretty neat, you know, the king of fairies, and again, it's more of a foresty type fairy. I know it doesn't sound as intimidating as you say it when you say king of fairies, but Oberon looks pretty epic. So, and a very fitting theme for this project, and I'm very excited for that. So if you may have what we've been doing already in the video, which you may have noticed already, is we're redoing the little pathway that went over the water. Gunnar actually had the park for a little bit, or the file for a little bit, and messed around with some stuff. He was going to do the lighting, but he didn't have time, so he did hand me back the file for now, which I am going back in and kind of going for what he kind of started. He created this awesome fencing and everything, and it goes with the theme a lot better than what we had before, which I think is definitely the case, because this looks a little bit better, or definitely not a little bit, a lot better than what we had beforehand, and it just fits the vibe a little bit better, fits the theme a lot better overall. So we're going to start with a lot of path element stuff, everything, and going on over here. And Gunnar had the idea of maybe moving the entrance over by where the big roll is over the water, the Heartline roll over the water, which it looks really, really cool. I haven't messed with it in this episode. There's not really too many shots in this episode where you can see it, but it's basically this big rock work going over the path, and it's actually really cool, and I want to use it in some way, so I don't know if we'll use it as the entrance just yet, but as of right now, the entrance is still in the same spot over by the actual station and everything like that. So yeah, it's gonna be really neat. And of course, I used this piece for a curb, or kind of like a path curb, a path you know, to make this large planter that goes in the middle of the path. It turned out really nice, and I actually just stumbled across it. I didn't planned on using this. I actually just kind of stumbled across it and said, hey, this actually it kind of looks like it could be used as a unique looking curb for the pathway, and that's actually what we went with. So those corners we're going to cover up with a kind of like a cement block piece, and actually put some lighting on there, so the path remains illuminated. So we're going to use the mulch here from the theme park toolkit item, which is a very useful piece that I use quite often, and I love it because you can really use it anywhere you want, and it just looks really, really good for when you're making big planters like this, a big planting section and area. And a lot of parks use this type of thing in their actual planters. So it's kind of like a really cool thing. And you could also get away with this looking like kind of like a wood chip area as well if you wanted to. So anyways, we're going to use this like cement block here on the corners to cover up those rough corners. And we're also just to make them look like they have a purpose, we're also going to put a lamp on top of them as well. I use the spooky lamp. I like the spooky lamp a lot. It's not really spooky. It's just a nice looking lamp in my opinion. But we also are going to put in some benches and some trash cans as well, because I think path elements like that always make it look a little bit better. And of course some trees and bushes and a little bit of greenery and flowers here and there as well to kind of complete this little planter area. And I like how it turned out. Looks pretty good, pretty solid, and actually fits the theme pretty well. We might actually do some cool lighting, either whether it's me or Gunner. I might try and do a little bit here myself on the lighting, and if Gunner wants to mess with it, that's up with him. But you know, I'm getting a little excited for some lighting and everything like that. So we're gonna use this fence continued on this side of the path, because that's actually going to be our barrier for the perimeter of the ride. So we don't want guests going in there. I might put some warning signs up eventually on that fence as well. For now, it's going to be left like so, and it's looking pretty good, I have to say. One thing I also had noticed that I hadn't done at this point was start on the get the exit path connected as well. That's something I didn't do. So hopefully that didn't actually be too much of a problem. I did get it figured out, and in the process of it, ended up starting on a exit gift shop, which I am going to be building here in just a moment. But first, we're going to make the Oberon entrance sign, and I wanted to do something very simplistic, but at the same time go with the theme and everything like that. So I made, obviously, used some from the Theme Maker's Toolkit, these letters, and actually made a little outline to give it a little more depth and color. And it turned out pretty nice. I like it a lot. And for the backdrop on it, I needed some sort of wooden structure. I actually ended up using these wooden doors as the holder or the background, and it looked pretty good. And I was like, I wanted to add a little more, so I added some wall climbers to add some leaf to it to kind of finish off that entrance sign. We also needed a couple things like the ride safety information, which I always use this Theme Maker's Toolkit item, which is really nice to have for a lot of the rides, and a height stick for measuring the height of a guest to make sure they are tall enough to ride. And I'd imagine this one would be where there's no yellow in the middle, you know, where you can ride with a companion. This one's going to be strictly a certain height that you have to be to ride such attraction. And I like that you can change the color of these, so I can kind of make it match the tones. We also just put it on this little wooden block, which looks quite nice. And there you have it, safety sign, entrance sign, and of course the height stick as well, which looks great. So this is the point where I'm like, I gotta figure out how to get this exit all the way around connecting to the path. We are gonna have this long winding path, which I think I'm gonna get some nice foliage around and theming. And then in this big little bit of an opening, I decided let's go ahead and build a small gift shop for the people to exit through. And I'm also going to have some on-ride photos sitting in this spot as well, which will be a nice little touch as well. I'm not good at building interiors, but I gave my shot at this. And we don't finish it in this episode. We're probably going to be working on it more in the next episode, but I wanted to get started on it and see what I could come up with for a gift shop, because I want to get better at interiors and buildings, and I think so far it's got a good start. It's nothing too fancy just yet. This building is just going to have the on-ride photos and just have a little bit. I wanted to make sure it was small, because I knew when I'm doing interiors for like gift shops, it just feels like there's so much to put in there to make it at least full. So having a smaller building actually helps us a lot. And I've been trying to practice on making my building proportions a little bit smaller lately, because I know that I usually oversize stuff and stretch stuff out. You know, like my buildings always are a little bit too big, and I never end up realizing it till after the fact. And it's something that I have been wanting to work on, is kind of make my buildings a little more compact and a little bit more to size. And I've always gone with the the Planet Coaster giant pieces, and I've been trying to get a little bit away from that, and start to build some smaller buildings for like shops and stuff. And I just want to make something a little bit bigger. Now I'm probably not going to fill up every single shelf in the gift shop. I want to give it a little detail, but I probably won't fill like every single shelf. I'll try to fill the majority of them. But there's like that little coaster souvenir, and it was like a mock rides one, and it actually looks like the trains that we're using for this coaster, so I can make it look like it's a static model for Oberon or something. I think that'd be kind of cool. So I just use some of the gift shop items that I do kind of have on hand from the Theme Maker's Toolkit items. So if you want to download this entire park, you are going to have to download a lot of Theme Maker's Toolkit items, unless you already have a lot of these items. So that's the only downside with Theme Maker's Toolkit, is you have to download all these items if you don't have them already, and it can kind of crowd up your Theme Maker's Toolkit items overall. But you can kind of discover some new ones that maybe you never knew you wanted. So, but anyways, just trying to populate these shelves and stuff and putting stuff in the middle is what my goal was in this gift shop, is to just try and populate it as much as I can so it still doesn't look too big. But because even though we made it fairly small, it still felt like I was still had a lot of space to cover up. So I wanted to put some shelves and some stands in the middle, which really does help quite a bit, actually. When you put some shelves up and put some shelves in the middle of the store, it kind of fills that open spaces quite a bit. I wish we had, there might be some on the Theme Maker's Toolkit items, but I'm going to have to look. But I wish we had more folded like shirts, like these shirts right here, but folded up, where you can put them like on a shelf and stuff. I think that'd be really nice to have. But the only one I have is like those nice shirts that are folded, but they're gonna have to do for now. Minor details, and put up some plushies, some mugs, souvenir mugs. It'd be cool if we could somehow. I mean, you could with the Theme Maker's Toolkit, but if I could put like my own merchandise for the ride in here, that would be actually really cool. But yeah. So yeah, like I said, putting up some shelves in here, quite nice. And you can see that little extended part we put on the building. That's going to be the photo booth, where you can view your photos and also check out, where you can also buy. That's where you also purchase your items as well. It'll be the register for when you buy your merchandise from this shop as well. But you can see we're filling up the shop pretty well, a lot more than what I have been before. And this will be nice for just interior overall. And I'm trying, like I said, I've been trying to work on my interior a little bit and make it a little bit better overall than what we have been doing. So I've been hard to work at it. It's gonna look good. But anyways, so I think that's about all we get done in this episode, is just a little bit of this gift shop. So when we come back on the next episode, we're probably going to work more on this, more on the path elements and just stuff overall, and maybe even get some more buildings in of some sorts, just to kind of fill in the area a little bit, make the area feel like an actual themed area for the ride. And then I can't imagine we'll have too many more episodes, but we'll see where we are. If I just want to keep detailing it, I'll keep detailing it. Of course, I know Gunnar wants to do the lighting for the ride and everything, and that'll be cool. But that's about it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more amazing content like this. Have a great day and be cool tomorrow. Thanks so much, and goodbye.